Yo, what's going on with your YouTubes? Again, Happy New Year's. We're in 2024. And looking back in 2023, a lot of shoes were either sitting, probably going under retail. A lot of shoes have flopped. So that's what gave me the idea of this video this time around. It's like, what is one of the worst flops in 2023? Trigger warning, all right? I know some people are gonna get mad if their shoes is on this list. We all can agree to disagree, I get it, but the way I'm going to kind of rate the flopping is like how hyped the shoe was, then all of a sudden it just tanked down. Predominantly, if the shoe is sitting and stuff, doesn't mean it's a bad shoe. If a shoe flop, doesn't mean it's a bad shoe. It just means that some of the people, or the most people, didn't really feel it and didn't care for it. So the resale wise will be heavily influenced on the whole flopping, because that's kind of the reason for it. But I mainly kind of wanted to also talk about how hyped it was, or no hype it was, kind of how the shoe performed to the people these days. And again, very tough crowd this year in 2023. A lot of people weren't really buying sneakers like that because how the economy is. I get it, inflation, shoes are really expensive. There's so many shoes kind of coming out here and there. We had to be picky and choosy. So it's kind of the reason why we've seen a lot of flops and a lot of shoes sitting. But I just wanted to let you guys know what I think is probably one of the worst flops of 2023. One of the worst flops of 2023 will have to be the Reimagined Royals. This is going to be on almost everybody's list. I don't think anybody were feeling the Royal suede. I mean, look at the blue. It's way too much vibrant. It's all suede. No one asked for these. And I like Royals. I have a whole bunch of Royals in my collection. One of the Royals 2001 is actually one of my grails. I had them back since high school. But for them to release these, I was like, man, I mean, I bought them just to have in the collection. I like to have different varieties of different Royals. Will I ever wear them? Not too sure, to be honest. These are now going on discount price. Nike made way too many of these. I think Nike made over, I want to say like, was it around 600,000 or 400,000 pairs or something like that? I don't think they sold nearly that many. 1 week after the release, they were already going for discount price, going for $130. And I talked to some people when I go to like the barber shop or something like that, and people always tell me they know I'm into sneakers. Like, Chris, I just bought a pair of shoes for $200. Now it's going for like $160. What did I do? I already wore them. So it kind of sucks, man. He's like, man, and then they tell me like I'm not buying any more shoes on the release date because they might go on sale. And that potentially could happen, just saying. But there's got to be some shoes out there that will sell out, so don't, wait to that. But like, there's a lot of shoes nowadays that go on sales immediately after release, which is crazy. It kind of sucks for the people that do pay the full retail price, and these things are going for way under. I actually starting to see prices nowadays at like almost $100 for these things. So, and these things retail at $180, so you're already looking almost like a 50% off discount almost. Another Jordan 1, yeah, we're gonna see a lot of Jordan 1s on the list. The Satin Breads. This is a women's shoe. It's an OG colorway, which is pretty disappointing. Both OG colorways. But yeah, these flop too pretty bad. And I don't mind them. I actually like these things. I do like the satin material. I don't mind it. Yes, it's a women's shoe. I'm glad I'm able to fit the bigger sizes, which is 11, which is I'm a 9.5 men. But again, these things did not sell out. I think these things are actually going on sale right now. Again, these things are going on sale for like $100 or $130 or something. And remember, maybe 2015, 16, when these were a sample, these things were going for like $2,000 to $3,000. Now they're going for like $100. I would try to tell people when they're getting early pairs, I was like, bro, these things are not gonna do crazy. I was like, I would be surprised if these things do like $200. And I must have like overestimated, because these things are going way under. Obviously, depending on sizes, probably the bigger sizes are sold out because, those are a little bit harder to come by. But it just proved, man, when it was time when Jordan 1s were really hyped up, the hype beasts were going to pay crazy for these, especially when they're just a sample. I hate to put these on the list, but just because I was looking at some Air Jordan 1s, trust me, there's a lot more Air Jordan 1s I feel like that kind of flopped, but Union 1s, all right. Again, this is, I think majority of the people out there were not feeling this whole woven stitching up here. Again, these are going pretty crazy. These are kind of crazy. I don't mind them. You know, it's a Union collab. It's fine. You know, I went ahead and paid for the retail. I was able to get a W, no problem. But it definitely dropped the ball because one of the best collaborations of the Air Jordan 1s were the Union Storm Blues and the Black Toes, okay? One of the greatest collaborations Jordan 1s of all time. And then when we finally get another variation from Union and Jordan with the Jordan 1 High, you give us this. They messed it up. How do you mess it up? Like, you could literally would have just grabbed one of these and just changed the colorway just around, and it would have been monumental. Like, could you imagine if they would have did a Chicago and even like a Storm Blue on top? Like, it would have been monumental. It would have went crazy. Like, people would have went bananas for it. But no, they gave us these, and it's just kind of like, again, it's fine. I know some people's gonna be hating on the comments on this, but I think they just kind of dropped the ball. You know, it could have been way different. It could have been way crazier, but I don't know. I kind of feel like also Union, you know, they're just Union brand kind of losing their touch a little bit on Jordan brand. Just saying. Now, I'm not sure if these are actually really flops, but the resale has definitely went down significantly. So I'll say it's a flop. We're talking about the big red boots. These things were crazy hyped for whatever reason. Mischief did a really good job of promoting these things. You know, everybody was going crazy for these when they first released, and they were looking kind of ridiculous. I still see people rocking these at sneaker events. Hey, whatever, man. If you guys love them, but remember, these things retail at like $350 plus shipping from Mischief or whatever. I think it was almost like $400 to your door. And if you look at the resale price right now, they're like a size 9 are going for like $290. Highest bid is $200. Last sale was $290. Size 10 is going for like $240. That's like a $200 L right there. And I even knew people that got these things early that paid like $1,000 to $1,500. All right. I know people are feeling kind of salty about that. And I know they came up with other colorways. They came out with the black pair, which I don't think anyone really heard about those. And then it also came out with the Mischief / Croc Big Red Boot, the Crocs, the yellow joints. I think these things are simply ugly. Matter of fact, the Croc Mischief collaboration, these things actually retail at $450. Again, I think it's size 9 is going for like $350 on the yellow boots, big boots. Not doing anything crazy. Actually losing, in my opinion. So, I don't know. These things were kind of crazy, though. So, I'm not sure if I would call it a flop, but we're hyped up. I will say that. They were pretty hyped up, you know? And people were kind of going crazy all over the internet for them and rocking around. I think it was more for like a joke situation or something. So, hey, if you guys like it, that's cool. And then some more flops, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I actually like these things quite a bit. I like the Alma Maniere 12s. I actually like Jordan 12s. But for these things to retail almost like at $250 plus shipping or something. I think it was $220 plus the shipping and tax. It was almost like $250. It is a women's shoe, so just think of that. But if you look at it right now, like my size 11 is going for like $140. So it's like $100 under for the black and maroon color. So this is went down significantly. I could have just waited. And not only that, the white pair are doing about the same, $150, even though I still like them, man. I think these things are clean. I'm glad I have a pair. I just kind of wish I didn't have to pay for the retail. I could have just waited and got these things for way under retail. So this is kind of a flop, even though I like them. But it's alright. I just don't think a lot of people just like 12s like that. I think one of the bigger disappointments is, or I still say it's a flop. They did sell out, but I'm gonna have to go with the Adidas Fear of God. And first of all, they look exactly like the Nike Fear of Gods. I still have my Nike Fear of Gods. I felt like there was no reason to pay $200 or $250 plus tax for the Adidas Fear of Gods. They look exactly the same thing, the same design. They didn't do anything different. And you guys remember, they signed Jerry like what, 5 years ago? When they finally dropped it, it felt very lackluster. You know, I don't think a lot of people really care for it. I'll just say that. Maybe because it was the time we're in, because the Fear of God Adidas were a lot more expensive. If you look at the hoodies, some of the hoodies were like at $350, huh? $350 for the hoodies, and like for the t-shirts alone was probably like just the t-shirts is $160. The pants was $200. Some of the hoodies were like $250, which is crazy. They look very similar to like the essentials. I'd rather just go ahead and buy the essentials for way less than a price, and they look almost the exact same thing, except for one has the 3 stripes, the other one has essential over it, you know? I don't know, like I said, we waited a good 5 years to see what Jerry was gonna do with Adidas, and we just got more of the same thing. Nothing really crazy. Again, that's kind of his signature, right? The essential look to it, but I just feel like they could have done something a little different. I mean, what they did with Nike, I thought it was really dope, but then they came up with Adidas, kind of gave us the same thing, except for it just had a Nike swoosh. And you didn't see Kanye do the exact same thing they had with Nike and they did with Adidas. I don't know. And also there's some things where they said what Jerry was saying, like with all the productions and all the timing they had to do with it, the shoe should have cost like $1,000, which is did well in other countries, like maybe because, you know, Adidas is over in Europe, so maybe it did very well in Europe but not over here in the States. You know, that could be a reason. So I don't really have like a top 10 list of like, it's not in numbered or anything, but I just want to let you guys know what were some flops in 2023, and I'm pretty sure there's a lot more out there. We can go ahead on and say like the Fear 3s, they were actually sitting, even though I think that's a great looking shoe. I do plan on going back and getting those. Matter of fact, I think even Finish Line had like a coupon for them going for like $60 under. They're going for like $140 or $130 or something. And I didn't even know, like I said, I knew people that paid like $200 and now they're going for way cheaper. But I think the number one flop of 2023 would have to be the Satin Breads. Sadly, you know. It is what it is, man. I mean, 2-3 years ago, yeah, these things would have been going for like $400-500, but at this time now we're in, they're going way under. And again, this is not all a bad thing. This is not all a bad thing. If you're a sneakerhead and you guys actually like sneakers, this is the best time because you guys can easily cop the shoes you want, or you can potentially get your shoes for a lot cheaper price. You don't have to pay for the resale, don't have to go for all the craziness. Just enjoy the time that we have now. We'll have to wait and see if this 2024 is going to be the exact same how it is in 2023. It has to do with a lot of variations, you know, with like, you know, the year, the economy we're in, and sometimes the shoes and stuff like that. So I think nowadays a lot of people are just being very selective on the shoes that they're buying. And I definitely get that, because so am I. At least I'm trying. At least I'm trying to. But anyway, guys, hey, just want to make this quick little video. You guys let me know what you think was probably the biggest flop of 2023. Anyway, guys, hey, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. If you guys don't mind, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if it's your first time here. Comment down below, and please hit that bell for all the notifications when I do drop vids. And don't forget to follow me on all my social media at German Chris on IG, sometimes on Twitter, and don't forget Snapchat. I'm also on TikTok. Anyway, guys, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I'm German Chris. Peace.